Good evening, I'm Stephen Moehring.
Hi, my name is Adi.
The most recent terrorist attacks that struck the populations of Paris and Brussels show the need for a more stringent or rigorous screening process for refugee documentation, especially those from war-torn areas such as Syria and Iraq, also havens for heavy terrorist activities. Political uprisings in these areas of the Middle East have been the cause of influx of refugees out of this region into Europe and even the United States of America. While such stringent screening processes or procedures are already in place in many countries, they must be improved in order to prevent such attacks as those in Paris and Brussels. Within a few days of the Paris attacks, reports surfaced that some of the terrorists entered Europe while posing as Syrian refugees. Greeter, 2016. The reports elicited particular attention in countries that have committed to accepting refugees, including the United States. Also Greeter, 2016. Refugees often demand free movement, insisting on continuing their journey to their end destination and refusing to stay in camps open to them by local authorities. Katz, 2016. What was initially seen as poor refugees coming in peace turned to fear and terror after the Paris attack and potential for similar attacks elsewhere. Open borders in Europe, much of Europe, have made terror attacks by militants that much easier. The reason for large numbers of refugees dispersing from the Middle East across the world can be found in continuous political upheavals and war in the Middle East region. The origins of the refugee crisis can be traced back to political revolts in North Africa and the Middle East. The revolts were encouraged by Western powers such as the United States and the United Kingdom. Gilmartin, 2016. Refugees do often battle death by crossing the Mediterranean Sea from Syria and North Africa to Italy, Greece, and Turkey. Gilmartin, 2016. A life of war and hardships motivates these refugees and the terrorists in infiltrating their ranks to make the perilous journey across rugged terrain, harsh open seas in search of a better life. After surviving such a perilous journey, refugees should face a stringent background check in order to gain access to a country. Threats and acts of violence by local citizens, mostly out of fear, is definitely not the answer to combat lax security measures. The U.S. House of Representatives has taken up legislation requiring more rigorous screening procedures for refugees from areas such as Iraq and Syria. Greeter, 2016. Recent polls show that a majority of Americans oppose admitting more Syrian refugees, often due to Syria being known as the birthplace of the terrorist organization ISIS or ISIL. Altman, 2015. Gun-toting protesters gathered outside a mosque in a nearby suburb of Dallas, Texas. Altman, 2015. This is obviously not the answer to combat lax security measures and screening procedures, and obviously a lot of it is done out of blatant fear and in often cases hate. Migration by such refugees can lead to substantial return of capital to the point of origin and the eventual return of these people with new skills and provide a cheap source of labor, allowing labor-intensive industries to flourish. Corson, 2016. In the United States, more rigorous screening procedures are being enacted for refugees from Syria and Iraq, whose ranks can and have proven to be infiltrated by militants. Threats and violence are not the answer, and the positive side of welcoming refugees needs to also be examined. It should be clear by now that an open border policy, such as much of Europe has is not a suitable form of curbing tens or hundreds of thousands of refugees from dispersing from their homes in the Middle East across the continent of Europe and to the rest of the world, including the United States and North America. Militant fighters can easily infiltrate these ranks, hell-bent on carrying out violent missions. Political uprisings and wars are the major causes of these large refugee movements. While stringent screening procedures are already in place in many countries, they must be improved in order to prevent such attacks as those seen in Paris and Brussels. References for the speech include Altman, 2015, Corson, 2015, World in Motion. The title of Altman's was Syrian Refugees in the United States Feel a Backlash. Gilmartin, 2016, The Refugee Crisis. Greeter, 2016, titled No Refuge. And Katz, 2016, A Network of Camps on the Way to Europe.